All right, today we're going to deconstruct something that honestly feels like it should be impossible. We're talking about a photorealistic animated rocker switch, the kind with that really satisfying click. And here's the kicker. We're going to build it using nothing but CSS.
That's right. No image files to create the textures, and not a single line of JavaScript telling it what to do. Yeah, everything you're seeing, the shape, the lighting, that 3D effect, the animation, it's all just pure code.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth do you turn flat, kind of boring code into something that looks and feels so real and interactive? Well, let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how the trick is done. To figure this out, we have to start right at the beginning, with the actual structure. And I think you're going to be shocked by how simple the HTML really is. This is the hidden engine that's going to power this whole thing. Believe it or not, the foundation for this whole complex effect is just 3 simple elements. That is it. We've got a standard checkbox input, that's our secret weapon, and then 2 divs that are going to become the visible casing and the button itself. So here's the core trick. That checkbox, that's the real button. We, the user, never actually see it because it's completely hidden with display none. But the browser always knows its state. Is it checked or is it unchecked? That simple on or off state is the trigger we're going to use to completely change the look of our visible switch. So, how does a hidden element talk to a visible one? Well, it talks to it using this little guy right here, the adjacent sibling combinator, which is just a plus sign. In CSS, this plus sign basically means, hey, select the element that comes immediately after me in the HTML. This is what lets our hidden input send a signal to its sibling, the .back div, and say, hey, I was just checked. It's time to change how you look.
Okay, so we've got our hidden engine and our little communication system all set up. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's start building the body of the switch. This is where we take our boring old rectangular divs and start molding them into something that looks like actual plastic hardware. Our main tool for all this shaping is border radius. For the outer casing, a single high value gives us that perfect soft pill shape. Easy enough. But for the button, we get a little more clever. We use a more advanced syntax to define the horizontal and vertical curves separately. This gives us a really subtle, non-uniform curve that looks so much more like a real manufactured piece of plastic.
All right, we've got our shapes, but, they're still totally flat. So now we get to the most important part of this whole illusion. This is where the magic really happens. We're going to paint with light and shadow to create the feeling of 3D depth, and our only paintbrush is the box shadow property. The secret here is that you can stack multiple box shadows on one element. First, we use dark inset shadows to kind of carve out the inside edges, which gives it that nice beveled look. Then a tiny lighter inset shadow along the bottom makes it look like it's catching the light. A standard drop shadow just lifts the button off the surface a little bit, but check this out. This is the most brilliant part. These last 2 shadows are huge and blurry. They're not for the edges at all. One fakes a broad, glossy highlight across the top surface, and the other creates a soft ambient shadow across the bottom. I mean, it's pure artistic illusion, all with one property. Okay, so we've got this beautiful, static, 3D-looking button, but it doesn't do anything yet. Now, let's connect it to our hidden engine and finally make it interactive. This is where our good friend, the checked pseudo class, comes into play. So let's look at the 2 states side by side. When that hidden checkbox gets checked, our special selector kicks in and a few things happen all at once. The top margin pushes the button down, making it look like it's sinking into the casing. The border radius actually shifts a little bit, creating the illusion that it's tilting away from us. And most importantly, that entire stack of box shadows gets completely replaced with a new set, relighting the whole button to make it look like it's deeply pressed in and shadowed. Okay, at this point, the switch works. You click it, and it snaps from on to off. But it doesn't feel good yet. To get that satisfying physical click, we need to add that last little bit of polish, animation. And once again, the solution is just so elegant. It's this one single line of code, transition all 0.2s. We just add this to our button and casing styles. It's a really simple instruction for the browser. It just says, hey, whenever any property on this element changes, whether it's the margin, the border radius, or that whole stack of box shadows, don't just snap to the new state. Instead, create a smooth animation between the old state and the new one and make it last for 0.2 seconds. That's it. That's what turns a jarring snap into a fluid tactile click. So let's just step back and look at what we've really learned here. We've created a complex, interactive, and honestly pretty realistic object. not with some heavy framework or library, but by cleverly combining the most fundamental building blocks of the web: a hidden checkbox for state, a couple of divs for the body, and a really artistic, layered approach to faking light and shadow.
This just goes to show that the tools we use every single day have this incredible untapped artistic potential. It's a great reminder that with a little bit of creativity, that line between code and art can get really, really blurry. So the real question is, what are you going to build with it?